Hello, we are starting a few minutes early, just to make sure that all was well. But I think people would be able to replay this, so I guess Oh, I go back. This is my first time, so I'm learning all the tech. All right, we'll start in just a few minutes. There's a slight delay in the stream, and it's really funny watching myself do everything a few seconds later. We'll just give people a few more minutes to come in, and then we'll start. Just keeping an eye on the meetup page in case anyone's having any problems. Oops. All right, let's get started. And if for anybody coming in, just feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. So welcome. This is a 1-hour workshop on how yoga can help you manage chronic pain. And so what we're going to do is we're going to chat for about 10 or 15 minutes just about how the different ways that yoga can help with pain and the different kind of scientific and yogic philosophies or ideas about how we can manage our pain better. And then we're going to do a yoga practice together. It's about 35 or 40 minutes and it's all on the floor and it's quite gentle, and then we'll chat about what we did. So a little bit about me. You guys, if you're signed up for this, you probably have seen a bit on my website and know a little bit about what I do. So I'm a yoga teacher and I work with people who have chronic illnesses, and specifically chronic fatigue syndrome, which is something that I've suffered with a lot, and chronic pain as well. So fibromyalgia, ME, CFS, Lyme disease, lupus, but really any illness that is chronic and long-term and that we've not really found an answer for in Western medicine. And they're starting to do more research into yoga. It's still a new field, so it's still, all the research is very preliminary, but what they're finding is really, really exciting. And over the years, there's been so many personal stories of people getting better through yoga and through meditation, and now there's starting to be research to back it up. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of that research. And again, it's still early days for the research, but it is very promising, and so I encourage you to keep an open mind about it. So there are kind of two kinds of pain I want to talk about today. And the first kind of pain is physical pain that has, I suppose all pain. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about physical pain, sorry. But what I meant to say was pain that has an obvious physical cause. And so this could be, for example, from arthritis or from a slipped disc, kind of we know the reason of the pain, or this could be as well from kind of a muscular imbalance or poor posture, which is also quite common. And I just realized I'm cutting off my head. I'm going to get it back a bit. And then the other type of pain is kind of a pain that we don't really understand, and this is common in fibromyalgia and other chronic illnesses as well, that people are experiencing a lot of physical pain, but we're not sure what's causing it. So yoga can help with both of these kinds of pains. So with the first kind of pain, if it has an obvious physical cause, yoga can help balance out what's going on. So for example, a lot of lower back pain can be caused by poor core muscles. And even if the lower back pain leads into more stuff, so people who have chronic lower back pain can lead to, for example, a slipped disc or something along those lines. So we want to get to that earlier and really strengthen those core muscles. I still get a lot of shoulder pain, but it was even worse when I was younger, and that is often caused by posture, which again relates to core strength. Knee pain is often due to a muscular imbalance in the legs. So those are kind of things that we can physically help with yoga. But what I think is perhaps the more interesting way yoga can help is for those other pains, so even arthritis where we know the cause, but there's not a whole lot we can do with it, or things like fibromyalgia where we're just not really sure why these people are suffering this intense and really, really terrible pain. I think that's where yoga and meditation and mindfulness can really offer something that perhaps other places cannot, and perhaps other medical doctors or anything like that cannot. So we'll just talk a little bit about some of the research that they've done. So a couple of years ago, they did a study and it showed that yoga increased gray matter in the brain. And gray matter, sorry, I'm just quickly checking Meetup. Someone sent a message. Okay, great. So gray matter tends to decrease as you age, and they found that gray matter was really tied into our pain sensors and how we experienced and our pain tolerance and how we felt pain. And they found that people who regularly did yoga and meditation were able to increase the amount of gray matter in their brain, and that really helps them have less pain. So that is really fantastic. And they've also done quite a few studies just measuring of people doing an 8-week yoga course who have chronic pain or fibromyalgia. And people at the end of the course reported feeling much better. And they're not 100% sure why. They have some theories, but that will have to be kind of the next round of research, is really trying to delve into why these people are feeling so much better from doing yoga compared to other types of physical therapy. But they are finding that there is something about yoga, and perhaps it's to do with the mind and the body working together. Because that kind of brings me to the way that I really see how yoga can help people with fibromyalgia. And the way I look at it is that we have primary suffering and secondary suffering. So the primary suffering is the pain that you have in your body, and you can't magic that away. I wish that you could, but sadly you cannot magic that away. And then we have the pain that we add to that. We say to ourselves, this hurts so much, I can't do anything because this hurts so much. I'm going to have this pain forever. I'm so stressed out about this pain. And that can make the pain feel worse without realizing it, without the intention to cause the pain. It's a very, very normal reaction. I think every single person who has pain reacts this way. I know I would. And it's exactly how I reacted with my fatigue. So it's not, you've done nothing wrong, you've acted like a human. But then what yoga and meditation can help you do is perhaps reduce some of that secondary suffering that we're inflicting upon ourselves with our thoughts by staying in the present moment. And another thing that I see a lot is people really trying to fight their illnesses. I mean, we see this all the time with cancer. We want to the battle against cancer, and we do it with fibromyalgia as well, and with arthritis as well, and with chronic fatigue as well. And the sentiment is really nice, and I think the sentiment to bring more attention to these illnesses is really nice. But I think as the person with the illness, this is not necessarily the best approach because it's chronic. So it's not something you're going to take a quick drug for and it's going to go away. It's part of you. And when you're showing that hate to the illness, you're really showing that hate to yourself or to a part of yourself. And when I realized this with my illness, that gave me a really huge shift in my mindset and how I approached it. Because for the time being, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but for the time being, the illness is part of you. And so I think yoga can really help us accept that and work with that rather than always fighting, because fighting is quite exhausting. So just to recap, before we start our practice, we will head into our practice in a couple minutes. So it can help with physical pain by building strength where we need strength or improving posture. And it can also help with the secondary suffering that we inflict upon ourselves. We've seen from the science that it is working and that it can help to increase the gray matter in the brain, which is related to your pain sensors. And then one last thing, and I think this applies to both categories of people, so the people who know kind of what's causing the pain and the people who don't, is that it just stretches out the muscles and relieves tension in the muscles. And that's something that's going to give everybody pain. For me, I know if I'm really stressed out and I'm working on something and I'm hunched over and I can feel my shoulders rising. So that's going to make any pain that's already there worse, that kind of stress and that tension. And so yoga can help relieve that when we do our practice. And I think that's a really wonderful thing. All right, great. Well, I think we are ready to move into our practice. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Take a sip of water. Got to jig up my camera angle here. There's my yoga mat. All right. Great. So let's start by lying down on the mat. This is true. Finding a comfortable place. Letting the feet fall to either side, the hands or palms facing up. Closing your eyes. And allowing yourself to be completely supported by the mat. Now beginning to move your focus to the breath. Not trying to change the breath, but just noticing. Now placing one hand on the belly, seeing if you can breathe all the way into that hand. So noticing the hand and the belly rising and falling. So you start to breathe with some intention and to breathe deeply. Seeing if you can notice any areas of the body that are in pain right now. And imagining that you're sending the breath there. Not trying to make the pain go away, not trying to change anything. Just allowing that pain and that sensation to reside where it is at this moment. And now bringing the focus back to your breath. Making a commitment to stay with your breath throughout this practice. And if your mind starts to wander, just knowing that that's normal. And then choosing to bring your focus back to the breath. So each time we notice the mind wandering, we just make the choice to focus on the breath and on the present moment. Bring the hand back down to the side of the body. And then inhale, lifting the arms up so that they're parallel with your shoulders, like zombie. And exhale, lowering the arms back down. Inhale, lifting the arms up. And exhale, lowering. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, lifting up the arms. And exhale, down. Breathing for a moment. And then bringing the feet together, pointing the toes, maybe stretching the arms overhead. Taking a deep breath. And then rolling them to one side of the body. And then slowly making your way up to your hands and knees. Inhale, looking over the left shoulder and swinging the right hip towards you like you're shaking your tail feather. Inhale, coming back to center, and exhale to the opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, the opposite side. Great. And let's just do a couple cat-cows now as well. So inhale, lifting the hips, opening the chest, looking forwards. Exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the head. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, rounding the spine. Coming back to neutral, we're going to lower down all the way onto your belly. And coming up onto the forearms. Into Sphinx pose, so the legs and the feet are together. The elbows are underneath the shoulders, but if you feel any pinching in your lower back, then just shift the elbows forward slightly. So finding a place that's comfortable for you. And keeping the spine neutral, so looking kind of forwards and down, almost towards your fingertips, or in the center between your fingertips. And the pelvis is just very slightly pressing into the mat. And then we're going to press back into child's pose. So walking the arms back, coming back to the knees. And you're going to spread the knees as wide as the mat. Sitting back onto the heels. And then walking the hands forward until your forehead reaches the mat. And if your forehead doesn't reach the mat, feel free to grab a pillow or something. Just place it under your head, just getting nice and comfortable. Opening up the hips. On the next inhale, coming back up to your hands and knees. We're going to do a little core exercise. So as I said, often lower back pain as it can be caused by weak core muscles. But if you're not getting up to it today, you can just do some more cat-cows. So we're going to start by lifting the right leg up straight behind you, pointing the toes. Looking forward, start looking down, and breathing. And then if you really, really want to, if you have a good reason why, you can lift up the left arm, stretching it in front of you. Using the core to support the limbs. And then lowering back down. Wiggle the tail a little. And let's switch sides. So lifting the left leg straight out behind you. And if you really, really want more of a challenge, lifting the right arm. And then lowering the hand. The knee back down. Coming into a seated position. Just crossing the legs. And now bringing the right hand down beside you. See if you can take it out a few more steps, bending the knee. And then inhale, stretching the left arm up and over, looking up towards the hand. Giving the side of the body a nice stretch. And inhale, coming back to center. Then walking out the left hand, placing it down on the mat, bending the elbow a little bit. And inhale, reaching the right arm overhead, looking up. Feeling the stretch all the way from the hip to your fingertips. Breathing. And inhale, coming back to center. Great. Let's take a gentle twist. Bringing the right hand to the left knee. And placing the left hand behind your back onto the floor. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, twisting. Finding your limit in this pose. And then on the next inhale, coming back to center, taking a breath here. Maybe letting out a sigh. And then bringing your left hand to your right knee and placing the right hand on the mat behind you or on the floor. Inhale, sitting up tall. And exhale, looking over the right shoulder. With each inhale, see if you can lift a little bit more. With every exhale, twisting. And inhale, releasing, coming back to center. Taking a breath here, standing up tall. Let's just stretch out the neck and shoulders a little bit. So let's do a few shoulder rolls. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, rolling back down. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, down. Continuing on your own breath. Nice, slow movements. Now switching the direction. Coming back to neutral. Placing the right hand down beside you and bringing the left hand to the right ear. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, pull the head down towards the left shoulder to give a nice stretch to the right side of the neck. If you want more of a stretch, you can walk the right fingertips up out a little more. Inhale, coming back to center. Let's switch sides. So stretching out now the left fingertips and the left side of the neck. Continue with that. I'm just checking. We've got a quick comment. Oh, hello. Yes, we are a little bit. We are an hour ahead of you. But you're welcome to come join us now, and this will be available for a replay. So hello, welcome. Sorry about that, right? Yeah. All right, and now coming back to center. Now interlacing the hands and placing them behind the head. And letting the head fall down and the elbows come down. So just letting gravity do its work to stretch out the back of the neck. Inhale, coming back up and releasing the hands. And let's just do a few rolls with the neck from side to side. And bringing the spine and the head and neck back to neutral. Just taking a breath and doing anything else you feel like you need to do to release the neck and the shoulders. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together, a good maybe 10 or so inches away from the hips. So we're going to do butterfly pose, but passive. So bringing the feet forward, holding onto the hands, and letting the spine round and the head drop down. And taking a moment here to come back to the breath. Notice if you've kept those nice deep belly breaths with you that we did at the beginning. And if not, don't worry about it, but just choosing to come back to those deep breaths now, knowing that it's a journey we're on. Completely releasing the neck and the shoulders. Using as little effort as possible in this pose. Inhale, coming back up, taking a deep breath. What we're going to do right now is find a place against a wall or next to a chair. So we're going to put our feet up. So I'm just going to flip around, I suppose is the easiest. So I'm going to sit kind of parallel like this to the wall. And then I'm going to lean back and swing my legs up. And your legs can be bent or straight. You can be closer to the wall or farther from the wall. All that really matters is that your legs and your feet are above your heart. Placing one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Really noticing the breath moving through the torso. And we're going to stay in this pose for about 3 or 4 more minutes, so making sure that you get comfortable. And taking any adjustments you need to right now so you can fully relax. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry I have to zip up for 1 second, but staying in this pose, breathing deeply. Continuing to notice the way the belly feels as you breathe. And knowing that as we do these poses that are less physical, our mind is our greatest challenge. And remembering again and again as the mind begins to wander, making the choice to bring the focus back to the breath. Now when you're ready, bringing the feet down, coming to lie down on your back on the mat. Planting your feet flat on the floor. We're going to do a little hip stretch here. So bringing the right ankle to the left knee. And if you feel the stretch there, then perfect. Just stay right here. If you've got a reason you'd like to go deeper, we're going to thread the hands through the hole between the legs and hold under the left knee. Gently moving the legs towards your torso. The hips are also a place where most of us hold a lot of tension, so this is a really nice stretch. And you can maybe rock side to side if that feels good, or if not, just staying still. Now releasing the hands, lowering the left leg back down, placing the right foot back down on the mat, and we'll switch to the other side. So bringing the left ankle to the right knee, and again, staying here if that works for you. If you'd like to go deeper, threading the hands and interlacing them underneath the right knee. Maybe rocking from side to side if that feels good. And just sending that breath and that focus and that attention down to the hips. Seeing if you can imagine just the teensiest bit of the tightness and tension here, leaving the body with every exhale. And then releasing the hands, releasing the legs. Maybe letting the legs fall side to side like windshield wipers. And we're going to come to our final meditation. So you can either lie down in Shavasana, like we did at the beginning of the practice. Or if you'd like, you can come to a seated position, either on the mat or in a chair. Just big welcome to anyone who's joined in with us during the practice. So finding a place that's comfortable, whether that's lying down or seated, and closing your eyes. Bringing the focus back to the breath. On your next inhale, bringing the breath and all your attention down to the toes and the feet, the heels and the ankles. Noticing any sensations you have here. And as we're going through this body scan, even where you have pain, trying not to judge that feeling or that sensation, trying not to label it as good or bad, but just noticing that that is what you're experiencing, and that sensation is what your body is experiencing in this moment. Bringing the focus to the feet and the toes and the ankles. And then exhale, releasing. Inhale, bringing the attention to the calves and the shins, the knees, the front and the backs, and the knees and the sides. Noticing any sensations that are present here. And as you exhale, letting go of that area of the body. Inhale, bringing the attention to the thighs and the hamstrings, to the groin and to the hips. Noticing any sensations present here. And again, knowing that this is a place where many people carry tension. Feeling fully any sensation in this part of the body. And then exhale, letting go. Inhale, bring attention to the lower back and the lower belly. Noticing any sensations present. Noticing the way this part of the body is affected by the movement of the breath. And exhale, letting go. Inhale, bring the attention to the middle chest and back, to the upper chest and the upper back, that space between the shoulder blades and the shoulders. Again, knowing this is a place where many people carry tension. Just allowing that tension and those sensations to reside there for now. Allowing them to be part of your body at this moment and welcoming them as you would any other feeling or sensation. And exhale, letting go. Inhale, bringing the attention to the fingers and the hands, the wrists, and the arms, all the way from the forearms past the elbows up to the shoulders. Noticing any sensations in this part of the body. And exhale, letting go. Inhale, bring the focus to the neck and the throat, the back of the head, the top of the head and the face, the forehead, eyebrows and eyes, cheeks, nose, mouth, ears, and chin. Noticing any sensations or feelings that you have here. And then exhale, letting go. Now seeing if you can imagine that there's a warm beam of sunshine or beam of light just above your head. And it's going through the top of your head and moving through every part of your body down to the tips of the toes. And feeling that warmth move through you. And seeing if you can bring your attention as well to every part of the body now. Feeling yourself as a whole. Now starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Slowly coming back into consciousness. Maybe slowly opening the eyes. And you're lying down, slowly making your way back up, slowly into a seated position. Bringing the hands together in prayer. To the forehead for kind thoughts. To the mouth for kind words. Kind feelings. Namaste. Great, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me in that practice. A few people joined us. So I don't know if you guys would like to introduce yourself just in the little chat box. Oops. Dropped something off my chair. So I come back. So yeah, if you would like, just introduce yourself in the chat. And yeah, I would love to know how that felt. So that was a gentle mindful yoga practice. And at the end, what we did is called a body scan. So if you've taken my course, I know you've definitely done that before. But if not, that might be your first time. Or you might have done it before. But that I find really, really helpful for handling pain and just welcoming all the sensations that we have for ourselves in this moment. So yeah, I would love to hear how you guys are feeling or if you have any questions. And you can also email them to me at any point later today or tomorrow. I think a few of you are missing this right now, so hopefully now you're watching it on replay. I think there's a bit of confusion with the time zones. Meetup is not quite as good as Google. It doesn't automatically convert it for you. Yeah, and this is also the first time I've done this, so I would also just love your feedback in the chat or by email or via Meetup if you enjoyed this, if you'd like to do another one, if you have any recommendations or not recommendations, other suggestions for topics or type of practices you would like, that would be great. If you've not done my course yet, we're going to be starting the next round the middle of June, and we'll go more in depth into how yoga can help with pain. Don't feel at all. I'm glad that you're here. Great. How did you find the practice? Yeah, well, I'm waiting for any other comments. Just so you can feel free to email me anytime. It's just Kayla@arogayoga.com. So yeah, if you have any questions at all about what we do today, or how yoga can help chronic pain, or if you'd like to see the studies that I was talking about at the beginning of the webinar, yeah, just send me an email. Great, good postures for you. Good. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Does anyone else have any questions? Just put them in the chat, and I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to tell you before signing off. Oh, yes, what we just don't quite have time to do, but what I think can be really nice as well is a yoga nidra practice. And I'm going to try to upload that onto a channel in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But you can also just search it on YouTube. There's I'm sure some nice ones up there. So if you do find yourself struggling to focus in a mindfulness practice like we just did, yoga nidra can be really nice. It's a visualization. So if you have anxiety or a lot of stress and a racing mind, it can be really nice to help you get deeper into a meditation. So that's another thing I recommend for chronic pain, because sometimes if the pain is unbearable and you can't focus on the pain in the body, a yoga nidra can be really nice to kind of take you away from the sensations for a little bit. So 2 different things. I think both can be really helpful. I practice both for me. So I think that's all. Again, my online course is going to be starting middle of June. It's open to everybody anywhere. And I would love your feedback. This was fun for me. I would love to do another one if you guys found it good and helpful and useful. And I'm definitely open to suggestions. And also, if you like this format, that's what I meant to ask. So I was debating whether or not to do it like this, where you guys can type in the chat, or we can also do it so we're all on video and we can all watch each other. I didn't know if anyone would enjoy to be watched during the yoga practice, which is why I chose this format. But we might be able to do a bit more chatting if we do it that way. So definitely let me know your feedback by typing in the chat, messaging me on Meetup, or emailing me. So thank you so much to everybody that has joined today. And yeah, keep in touch. I hope to hear from you soon. Bye guys, enjoy the rest of your evening or day, depending on where in the world you are. Thank you so much.